Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going to be going live in about 5 minutes, and pretty laid back tonight. It's just going to be you and me and about 10,000 hats. So we'll see you in about 5 minutes. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? We're a little earlier than normal, but it's still Friday. So all day long is Friday. Welcome to not Barron Landscapes. It is, you know it is. It's Barron Landscapes, but a little earlier, 8 p.m. here where we are. And I wasn't going to do anything tonight except for the watch party that we're doing right after this. I got 2 shows set up for you. The first one, which if you remember was combined with Steve Harvey thing called Jump. And it's called, our first episode was called Take This Job and Shove It. That's what I call it in my heart, but it was really like called Jump. And then we're going to do another episode back to back, about an hour worth of 2 episodes streamed. They're going to be streamed in their entirety on the watch party, so you got 5 minutes before each one starts to go to the bathroom or grab a beer or whatever it is that, I don't want to know, whatever it is you're going to do. I'm Barron Stringfellow, and this is not Barron Landscapes. Next week, the 19th, we're going to be cremating Kate Miller. Kate is a local teacher. She is an artist, professional artist, and she does shows and contests and makes beautiful art. You've seen a lot of her stuff on my profile wall, I would imagine. But I wasn't going to do tonight because I wanted to give you a chance to catch up. We picked up a lot of new viewers last week, and I'm hoping they're going to catch on that it's 8 o'clock tonight for my little rant. And then next week we'll be back at our regular time, which will be 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for the head burning, the cremation of Kate Miller's head. And I've shown you the equipment, so I think that's something that maybe is a little unusual for a magician to do, is actually let you examine the equipment. I've shown you what we're going to use. Again, when we get Miss Miller here next week, we'll be outside because my wife will not let me light a fire in the house. I don't know why. It just is apparently something I'm not allowed to do. And so I wasn't going to do a show tonight, and there's so much has happened that I just felt like my voice couldn't rest for a week. And I was down at the warehouse getting some stuff. I had to ship some magic out this week, and I came across a couple of bins of hats. I've got a lot of collections. One of our collections, as you know, is rocks and fossils and gemstones and bones and things. And one of my other collections happens to be hats. This particular hat is a hat, pardon my non-haircut, this particular hat is a hat from Wisconsin, and it's a unique hat because I brought this hat back from Wisconsin with 72 pounds of cheese, and I had to carry the hat on the plane with me, but the cheese went in the underbelly. And what does a magician do with a cheese hat? Well, if I had a cheesy rabbit, you know, that would be the hat thing. I don't have a cheesy rabbit, but I have an interesting rabbit. Ta-da! Nonetheless, that rabbit is on my on last week's We Didn't Start the Fire list. And so I got some questions from Kate Miller. Kate said, if you're going to do this hat rant, would you mind answering a few questions in the body of the rant? And I said, you know, go ahead, go for it. Why, if I paid all that money for improv, why not get my money's worth out of my improv classes? And so Kate sent me 3 questions that I've chosen for my hat rant. And so you will pick those up as we go through the rant. You know, it seems to me we've all had about enough. And here's what I'm talking about. Now, normally, I've got a lot of class. Personally, stole that from the daughter. This one was mine, lost and found in a casino, spotted it from surveillance, tagged it as mine. 30 days later, I left with my brown hat. Yeah, I know, it's not brown anymore. But that's okay, because there's a lot of brown stuff out there in this world today. And let's go through it. First of all, there's a whole lot of turds out in this world today, and I think I've run across each and every one of them on my Facebook feed in at least the last week. A bunch of turds. Some of them have even bothered to message me their turdship in my private messaging. How nice that I had a brown hat that I could wear. There are brown babies still in cages. Can we not forget about them? I've been staying inside, and my wife's been staying inside because a lot of people seem to have forgotten that there is a virus out there, and it's a pretty intense virus. It's not a hoax. It's not being overplayed by the media. I don't know what the media is saying, and I'll be real honest with you. I don't care what the media is saying. What I've been doing is watching the Johns Hopkins numbers and the Worldometer numbers, and I look at those scientifically. I go to their sources, and I see what they're saying about the disease. I go to experts, not media. And yet, all in all, every last person that's out there wearing a mask, every last person that is staying in their house, that is isolating, that is sterilizing, that leaves their loved ones at home, every last one of us at some point, in one way or the other, and by the way, some of y'all aren't too subtle. Some of you are very open about your criticism of us staying inside. I've been called a chicken more than I care to tell you. Well, folks, if you think me wearing a mask is chicken, if you think my wife staying at home is chicken, if you think me distancing by 6 feet is chicken, you are chicken shit. My chicken hat. And Miss Miller sent me a question regarding a chicken, and I don't want to get the question wrong. The question goes like this: why do people care why a chicken crossed a road? I'll tell you why, Katie. Why do people care a chicken crossed the road? Because people can't mind their own damn business. That's why. People can't keep their nose out of your stuff long enough to tell you how to live your life. They got to watch the chicken cross the road and interrogate the chicken and find out why the chicken crossed the road. Let me tell you folks something. Chicken lives matter. It's none of your business why the chicken crossed the road. Now, don't take it from me. Like I told you, I think we should ask experts. And that's what we're going to do right now. Let's ask an expert. Hello, chicken. Hello, Barron. Chicken, should people stay out of your business? People should mind their own eggs. People should mind their own eggs. Folks, stay to your own nest. If you see someone in trouble, help them. Other than that, mind your own business. Thank you, chicken. I appreciate that. Some of these hats have come from toy stores. Some of these hats have been gifts. Some of these hats I've had, oh my, for maybe 30 years. I noticed some of the rubber's even getting old on the hats that have rubber on it. Katie says, Barron, I got a question for you. I got a question for you. I said, Katie, what's your question for me? She says, Barron, is a $1 billion a year company, $1 billion a year company. That's a pretty big hat to wear. Is $1 billion a year company? Is $1 billion industry worth its salt if it doesn't have the money to stay afloat for at least a year with no income? It is worth its salt, Katie. In fact, $1 billion a year industry that doesn't stay afloat during that year may be due to all the things that are happening. Let me tell you what that $1 billion company is doing. That $1 billion company is doing what they call paving their assets. And what that means, Katie, is they could care less about you or me. What they're taking care of are their shareholders. And these are other millionaires and billionaires that own stock in their company. For the most part, it's big numbers. It's not the little guy that owns penny stock. Those big $1 billion companies, they could stay afloat, but they don't stay afloat because they're trying to watch their money. They're liquidating as soon as they can. And that's not taking care of us. So there's that question. Your second question will be answered. And it's about the arts. Your third question, sorry. It's about the arts. And this is really part of this rant. This is part of what got this going. Is the arts are underfunded. We've been defunded. We've been underfunded. If anything loses budget in a school, in a community, in a city, if anything loses budget, you can bet your patooties. You can bet your patooties. Ow! That the arts are going to go first. Why do we let the arts get canceled first when the first thing that happens in an emergency, in a catastrophe, in a pandemic, globally, why do we turn to the arts? And folks, we do turn to the arts. We start singing. We start telling jokes. Artists have started making beautiful films and art out on the open platforms, and we've seen them all. Why do we defund the arts? Because, Katie, I'll tell you why. Beautiful things aren't appreciated in the best of times. Beautiful things are only sought after in the darkest of times. And in the best of times, we forget about beautiful things because we've got it pretty easy. Now, I'm normally pretty smooth and pretty cool. I work off a script, I work off an outline, and everything's going to be chill. But I don't feel chill, and that's why I'm doing a hat rant. And so let's let the hat rant continue. Let me tell you something about the waters that we're currently floating in. They are filled with sharks. These waters to the left of us, these waters to the right of us, there are people out there that have no dog in the show. And yet they're going to the protests and they're throwing a brick and they're lighting a fire and they're yelling at police officers. And they're there only to cause problems. Those are sharks. We got people that are coming onto our Facebook pages, and I love you folks. I love all of you. But we got people that come onto our Facebook pages and they say, well, I don't exactly understand what you're telling me. Could you clarify that? Well, I don't speak poorly. I speak fairly clearly. I write fairly well in text. And if you don't understand something that I've put in a text, it's because you don't want to. If I posted something that you're confused about, I am me. But when you post on my wall saying, could you elaborate on that? Screw you, you're challenging it. It's my wall. I'll put what I want on that wall. You put what you want on that wall. And don't you dare come to my wall and challenge me, because I am righteous on my wall. I am the word on my wall. And on my wall, you don't have any freedom of speech.
Don't have the right to hijack my post.
You don't have the right to hijack my post. You are a shark. And even though I love sharks, there is only one thing that I will do with a shark on my wall.
Yeah? What's that?
I punch him in the nose.
Make sure I too.
I break off their teeth. See you, buddy. And I make sure they can't post there again. One of you is still up on my wall with your challenge. My suggestion is this. Block me, delete the post, unfriend me, but I got news for you. In about an hour, you're blocked, you're gone. I took a look at your profile. Mr. All Lives Matter. Mr. All Policemen's Matter. Get off my wall. Get off my posts. Get out of my life. I can say anything I want because it's not hateful or hurtful, unlike some of the things that you say. Get off my wall. Now, I'm sorry. If I seem like a monster, I don't mean to. But I didn't start out this way. Y'all, I was made this way. I'm a fairly quiet loudmouth in magic, in what I do. I don't pull punches. I don't hide my feelings. But let me explain what's happened to get us to this point right now with all these damn hats. I've taken a little bit of your pain, and it's on this arm. And I've taken a little bit of your pain, and it's on this arm. And I've got a lot of my own pain, because growing up Jewish, let me tell you, it ain't the easiest thing in the world. Thank you, Cub Scouts, for telling me there would be somewhere else I would feel more comfortable. Folks, did you know that we Jews had our own branch of the Cub Scouts? That's right. I could be a Jew Scout, but I couldn't hang out with the other white kids who had Cub Scouts. Ridiculous.